All right, good morning, everyone. It's 11 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who haven't been on one of our webinars before, my name is Taylor, and with me is my co-host Jesse, and then with us also are Alex and Tanya from our customer success team. And so this webinar, we are going to talk all about the tour functionality on Zenlist and how you can really use this to just kind of streamline some of your processes and collaborate really easy with your client. So again, this webinar is focusing specifically on just that one piece of Zenlist. There's so much more that Zenlist can do. So if you haven't taken advantage or you're new to Zenlist, make sure you sign up for an onboarding with one of our wonderful customer success people who are on the call with us today, so we can give you a full tour of the platform. Now, for this webinar today, we're going to try something a little different. So typically, I will share my screen and we'll go through the live example. With this functionality in particular, what we really wanted to do though was not only show you, how you can use this in your business, but we wanted to really be able to show the collaboration that happens between agent and client when they're using this feature together. So for our demo today, we are going to show you a recording that was done by Jesse and I that shows exactly what happens when your client's on Zenlist, how they request that tour, how you set it up, and then how it will appear on their end as well. So even though it's a recording, we're still here and live with you. So as we are going through that, make sure to put your questions in the Q&A. We've saved time at the end, so we can always review those live, and we'll also try to answer those as we go. So without further ado then, I'm going to pull up that video and we'll jump right in and get started. So give me just 2 seconds. And then we'll be ready to rumble. Okay. Screen share is loading. Okay. And these are your tours on Zenlist.
Okay, yeah. So as you're walking through, or your clients rather, are walking through their account, they'll be scrolling through their properties to review the details and get a better idea of what those listings and those listing details contain. Once you click into a listing here, your clients will have a few options. So you'll see at the very bottom of my phone here, or on the right-hand side, if they're using a computer or laptop, is a big pink kind of salmon colored request a tour button. And this is going to allow your clients to communicate directly with you that this is a property they're interested in seeing, and they'll also dictate an urgency. So if I click on this request a tour button, it'll ask me how soon I would like to see this property. And my options are anytime, as soon as possible, within 2 to 3 days, or over the weekend. And so for our example today, I'm going to choose over the weekend for this property, and then I'll just confirm by clicking request tour one more time. And then that is going to send that information off to my agent. They'll be notified via email and push notification. They can also find those in their notification center. And so just to show you how this would work a couple more times, we'll go through a couple more examples. And so I'll pick this one here and I'll request a tour on it as well. And then we'll go for a third listing here that I'll request a tour on. And then our final and fourth listing will be this one. And I'll just click to request a tour to communicate with my agent what I'd like to go see this weekend.
Okay, so we're going to set up the tour for our client. They've just sent us some tour requests, so we are going to go into our Zenlist app. We're going to view those tour requests, and then we're going to arrange everything for that day. So I have my Zenlist app open now, and up at the top right is your notification center. This is where you can see any actions that your client takes, but in particular with what we're talking about today, those tour requests. So I'm just gonna click right on that notification center, and that's gonna pull up all of the listings that Jesse has requested a tour on. And on these notifications, I can see that she wants to go see all of these listings over the weekend. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chat with Jessie via the Zenlist app, make sure I know kind of what time she's available over the weekend, and then I'm going to set this up for her. So to chat with Jessie, I'm just going to hit the back arrow at the top left, and then I'm going to go to the bottom of my app and then hit chat. There's Jessie. I'm just going to click on my existing chat with her. And I'm going to say, hey, what times are you available this weekend? I'm going to send that to her. I'm going to wait until she responds to me. And then once she gets back to me, I'm just going to start setting this up. And I can do that all in the Zenlist app. So on Zenlist, I will always be able to see when my client reads my messages. So if you can see my chat bubble, there are the 2 check marks down there. If those are highlighted, that means she's opened it. And then when she's typing, I'll be able to see when she's typing as well. It looks like she just got back to me. It looks like she's free anytime after 11 on Saturday and before 3 on Sunday. I'm going to just assume in this example that we're going to see all of these on Saturday. So I'm going to let her know that I'm going to set it up for that date. And then I'm going to say 11 is pretty early. Maybe she wants to go, get lunch or something after we've looked at all of these listings. So I'm going to say, do you want to grab lunch after we go see these homes? We can review everything then. So we're just going to see if she wants to grab lunch because we'll be able to add that into our tour that we set up for her. Jessie's super responsive. She's typing right now. So she wants to go out. We're going to grab some tacos. Awesome. That's all the information I need to continue setting up this tour for her. So now that we have all of her tour requests together, we have kind of our rough outline of when we're going to go see these homes, I can now go in and start to set this up for her. So to start setting up that tour for Jessie, the easiest way to just view all those tour requests, easily select them and add them to the tour is just clicking on her client feed. So I'm selecting Jessie's name, and then up at the top, I have my horizontal folder bar where I can see all of her tour requests. So I'm clicking tour requests, and then I'm just going to select all of these listings that we're going to go look at. So I'm just clicking the top box at the top right of each listing, clicking on that, selecting it, and we'll just select all of these. Looks like there's even an open house that we can slot in there and a private listing that we can include on this tour as well. Once all of these are selected, they'll be in what I kind of like to refer to as that blue house on the left. It has the number 5 in it because I've selected 5 listings. I'll click on that. All of those listings that I've just selected are right there. And then I'm just going to select add to tour to create this tour for Jessie and I. So I'm clicking add to tour. I'm scheduling a new tour. So I'll click new tour up at the top right. I'll put my client in there, which is Jessie. And then I'm just going to pick the date that we're going to go look at these homes on. So that's this Saturday, the 16th. I'll confirm that. And then I'm just going to click create tour to start to build that tour for us. At this point, it's going to say, take me to tour or cancel. I want to start to arrange this right away. So I'm just going to click take me to tour. And that's going to take me directly to this specific tour folder. So I can come in here and I can start building this. So the first thing that we want to do then is we want to organize this tour. So these have all just been dropped into the folder. This is now completely organizable for us to do whatever we want with. So I can click that change route button right up there. That is going to actually show me all of these listings right on the map here. And one thing I can do is I can click that optimize button right at the top left, and that is going to automatically rearrange this entire tour to put it in the most optimal route for my client and I. So that's the first thing I'll want to do just when I start to look at this. And then what I can do from there is we wanted to go get some tacos. So I can actually add that stop to my tour so we can include it at the end. So I'll click add stop. And then I'm going to add in that address, search for that business name, what have you, and I can click on whatever it is, and that's going to pop that right in there. So this tacos and tequila place is a little bit further away, but we can add that right into our tour. Once I'm done optimizing this tour, I can click on that back arrow up at the top left. Oops, that's going to take me back. Once we're all set with this tour and that's been optimized, I can click into each of these individual listings that are in the tour, and I can go to the bottom here and it's going to show me all of the showing options that are available for this listing, how to contact that listing agent and get in touch with them to confirm that time with them. What I can also come in here and do up at the top is I can click on the status and say requested to let my client know that I've requested this listing, and I can do that with each listing in this tour. So we've just clicked on A, we've said it's been requested. I'm going to click on B at this point and keep going right on down the list. Something to note when you're looking at this listing agent information is you'll have all those options to chat with that agent, call them, email them, what have you. If you see a chat next to an agent's name, that means they're also a Zenlist user. So if you're trying to consolidate your communication all within one particular app, you can chat with that agent who is also on Zenlist. So we'll go ahead and we'll say we've requested all of these tours. And in particular, on this third listing right here, in the showing options, there's showing time. So that means that this listing agent has set their listing up in showing time, and there will be that showing time link available in the showing options then. If you click on that, that will take you directly to your showing time account so that you can request that showing for this particular home right away. So we'll say we've requested all of these. Boom, boom, boom. And now what I can do is I'm requested all of these. For the sake of the example, we'll say that I've reached out via showing time to all of these listing agents to request a particular time for the tour. Once I create this tour though, it's shared with Jessie. So she can pull up her Zenlist app, she can see this right away. So even though I'm waiting for those agents to confirm the exact times that will go, and once I have those, I'll enter them, I'm just gonna send Jessie a chat and say, like, hey, I'm getting our tour set up and I've requested showings on all of those listings. On all of those listings. You can check out the tour in Zenlist. And then I'll update this once I have those times confirmed. Oh my gosh, if I can type. There we go. So I just sent her that chat. I'm just letting her know that, hey, this is here. She will get an automatic notification whenever you do set up the tour, but I just like having that little extra detail to just reinforce this is where you can see all of this information.
Okay, perfect. So now I'm on my phone, I'm on my client app, and I can see a couple of notifications here. So in the top right corner, I've got my notification center as a client, which will tell me that Taylor has created me a tour folder. But I can also come into my chat in the very bottom of my Zenlist app and respond and read her chat message that lets me know she's created my tour folder, and I can go ahead and take a look. So I'll click the back button here, and then on the very bottom navigation of my app, I'll go into tours. I can see Saturday the 16th, And then here's all of the information that Taylor has set up for me. So I can see the status of the showing is requested. I can see the times that she has entered. And I can use this to review the property details, to get prepared, to start thinking of questions I might want to ask or things that I might want to be sure to pay attention to while we're walking through the home. So I'll take a step back one more time, go back into my chat, and just let Taylor know that everything looks wonderful.
So some time has passed. I've requested all of those tours. Jesse's kind of seen what I've been working on. I'm at home now and I have my computer with me, and those listing agents have all gotten back to me and they've confirmed whether or not a specific time will work. So since I'm at my computer, I'm just going to continue that organization right there. So anything you do on mobile, you can also do on your computer. So to continue organizing our tour and finalize everything, I'm just logging into my Zenlist account. I'm selecting the tours section over from the left. And then here I can view my upcoming tours. We're organizing this for Jesse and I. So now I can come in here and I can actually add the specific times based off of that feedback from the listing agent. However, there's a little hiccup. I optimized this tour, but listing C, or actually listing D here, it can't be shown in that particular order. Either the seller is going to be at home, maybe, it's nap time for their kid. So I actually have to reorder this just to move this up a little bit. So outside of just being able to optimize my tour, I can actually put these in any order that I want. So I need to move D here, the 5th listing on our list today. I just need to move this up. So I can drag and drop these to whatever order makes the most sense. And now that I have that finalized, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to input the times that we're going to all of these different listings. So Jesse is available at 11, so we're going to hit this first one at 11. The second one we'll say at 11:30. Then we'll do 12. The next one is an open house, which you can actually see that open house time right there. So we'll be, maybe the second, third ones to the open house, but we'll just put that at 12:30, which is when that open house is going on. Then we'll say the next one is at 1, and then we're going for tacos and tequila at 1:30 to review everything over a nice margarita. So I've got that all set, and now I can actually come in here, and in that tour status, I can put confirmed, and I can confirm all of these tours. So when Jessie pulls up her Zenlist app, she's going to see this entire tour and that I have a confirmation of all these times and we're good to go. As an extra, when I'm organizing these tours, there might be special instructions that are just for me, the agent. This could be your lockbox code. This could be anything, that the listing agent has maybe told you that you shouldn't share with the seller about accessing that listing. So I can come into that notes section then, and right here in that tour folder, these are private notes that are only visible to me and potentially any co-agents that I have that are doing this tour with me or taking my client out. So I can type in the lockbox code here and say lockbox code is 12345. Save it, and then when I'm out and about, I can pull up all these notes right on my phone, and that way I always have a digital copy of any specific instructions that I might need to access once I'm ready to go. So now that my tour is all set up, another thing that I can do is I, maybe like to use my calendar. I like to have my task list on there. I can click add to calendar right here and then just select whatever calendar it is I use. And this is going to create a calendar event for me for that date, that time range, and it's going to have all of the listings with any of my notes right here. So I can have that saved specifically to my calendar, so I can pull up my calendar for the day and I can see everything that we are going to look at. Now that these all have been confirmed, I'm just going to send Jessie one final chat message and say, hey, we're good to go. See you at listing A on Saturday. See you Saturday. So we've got that tour scheduled. It's finally Saturday and we're ready to hit the road. So I'm back on my phone so I can pull up the tour, get all my notes, and have everything ready to go. When I am using Zenlist to set up my tour and I click on that tours button right at the bottom here, it's how I'm going to access any of my upcoming tours. We're going out with Jessie, so I'm clicking on Jessie's name right here. And now I can see that order right there. And again, when I'm looking at these, all of my times are in here. And for those ones that I've added those private notes to, I can get like a quick overview of what those notes are. And if I need to see more details, maybe it was a very long note that I left myself, I'm just clicking into that listing and then I can see any of my showing notes right up at the top right here. I can also come in here to click view listing details for any of these particular listings. And so if my client is asking me a question, I can come in here, I can pull up any remarks on this listing. I can see any of those private remarks, can come down to that agent info section right here and see, any of that extra info that I might need. So this is a really good way to save yourself from printing out all of those extra listing sheets. Additionally, when you are out and about and you are viewing the details for any listings in your tour, you can direct your client to the notes section right here, which is just below that listing agent information, which is only visible to you. And you can say, hey client, go ahead and click to add a note about this listing once we're done viewing it or while we're doing it. Add questions that maybe you don't want to ask in the moment that you might want to talk about. So anything that you want to chat about, pop that in the notes section so that we can review it a little bit later. So maybe I'm just going through, I'm looking up everything, but now I need to get to these listings. In order to show a home, I have to be at the home, right? So what we can do on Zenlist is if we click the ... up at the top right, I can come in here and I can click open in Google Maps. And that is going to open this entire tour, even with my final stop, and put that in just driving directions for me. So we can see here right up at the top, there's my first stop. I've got the 4 other stops and it has my endpoint on there. I can click preview and it's going to give me a preview of that entire route. I can select to go once I'm in my car. So I can pull all of these directions right up and we'll be ready to go. And I can just go from A, B, C, D to E super fast. Now, once you've made it through your entire tour, you've made it to that last stop, you can pull back up your Zenlist app at any time, click on those tours, click into Jessie's specific tour, and you can go back and easily click into those listings to view any notes that your client might have left. And so those are things that we can talk about then when we're sitting down, wondering, should we put in an offer on this home? What are the things that we liked or didn't like? Was this a like it, a love it? Things like that.
And then just to round this out, we also wanted to show you how your clients will use this tour folder on the day of your tour. So I've got my tour folder open here. Here's all of those properties that Taylor has kindly scheduled for me. And I can do all of those same actions. So I can look at the map towards the very bottom of my screen. There will be an option to view this tour on my map folder. I can also go back to view the tour to look at the different listings, look at the listing photos here. If I click into this property details page, I'll have those note sections that Taylor was talking about to leave my like it, love it, kitchen was too small, what's going on with the basement kind of notes to myself. And then I'll also have all of those key details, a really great mortgage calculator here. If we're considering writing an offer, I can calculate kind of what we want that baseline to look like right here. All of that information is available to me from the tour folder in the app on my phone. And the nice thing is as well is that if you and your clients aren't carpooling together, so you're going to drive in separate vehicles, you and your clients can follow the same route. So in the same ... menu in the top right-hand corner, I can click to open in Google Maps. This is going to open my route here. Here are all those listings we're going to. Here's the tour time, how long it's going to take me to get to all of those places. I can just preview and then I can load it up to my car and hit the road. My agent knows that I'm on the right path and we're going to be following the same route together. And then when we go to sit down for our tacos and tequila, our nice margarita after a long day, I can come into that same tour folder and review the listings that I've left. I can review the listing or the notes that my agent has left. I can review what I left. All of that is going to be linked to here together for me. So process beginning to ending for my client and my agent is really full service in Zenlist. You can do everything you need to right here, and especially right from the app on your phone.
Awesome. So that is our tour functionality on Zenlist, especially with that map functionality, super useful. I don't know if you've ever tried to follow someone somewhere and not have the exact address of where you're going and then get lost. So just definitely useful in that case as well. We're going to open it up to some Q&A. If you haven't asked a question, pop it in the Q&A now, and we will go over that. There were some questions that came up that I know we want to review right away. In particular, one was talking about a broker tour. So I'm going to kick it over to Jesse and have anyone who is curious about those queue in.
Yeah, so broker tours currently are only available in SFAR. So if you're an SFAR agent and you're looking for help with your broker tours, this is for you. All other markets, it's not applicable just yet. So specifically speaking in SFAR, I'll share my screen just so I can show you how I would recommend setting that up. Yes. So in your search tab of your Zenlist account, you'll have your map view in here, and there's a couple different ways you can do this. The functionality for tours between client tours and broker tours are really so similar that there's not a lot to show other than how you find the information for broker tours. So from my search tab, I'll have this a couple of filters here, so I'll be able to see broker tour properties only. And if I turn that on, it will only show me listings that have an upcoming broker tour. I can also look at the broker tour time slots and dedicate. So, I'm only interested in, broker tours between 10 and 12. And this is also tied into the San Francisco districts. So instead of looking at all of the broker tours, you can hone in on specific districts and areas that you want to go see your broker tours in. You can include ones, you can exclude certain sub-districts. All of that can be done here. And then one of the really nice things as well is in the top right-hand corner, you'll have this option to view in a list. So you'll have the map, which is your default. There are the tiles with the pretty pictures, and then you'll have the list view. And this list view is formatted to be very similar to what you're currently getting from SFAR on Tuesdays. So you'll have, is it a repeated broker tour? You'll have the district information, all of that here. And then you can select the listings that you're going to go see in your broker tour and add it to a tour just like you would for a client, but this time you'll create the tour folder for yourself, and that'll allow you to optimize the route, add additional stops just like you would for a client. You can also customize this list. If there are fields here that are missing and you'd like to see, you can customize and add additional fields based on what you're interested in. And this also works with the filters. So I've got my broker tours only. I'm looking in, these 7 districts, but I can also add price ranges or bedroom and bathroom requirements. I can add any of those filters so that instead of having to go through that list of hundreds of properties, I can really find specifically the listings that I want for my broker tour. So the functionality is a lot the same. You're just scheduling the tour for yourself, and where you're going to find the listings is a little bit different. So I do hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know. And if not, we can also schedule some time to talk about this a little bit more in depth. And we have a really great detailed video as well that I can send to you that walks you through this process in a little bit more depth dedicated to SFAR agents.
Awesome. And then another question that came up that I think a few of us are interested in is how to send open houses to your client. So we should be looking at my screen right now, and there are a few different ways that you can do this. One is you can go into the search, and you can always come in here and you can say, I want to see any open houses that are in a specific neighborhood. So let's just say it's Lincoln Park. I can pop that neighborhood in there, or you can just search generally. But what you can do then is you can come down to this filter right here. And if you only want to see those open houses, you can hit open houses only. It's going to show you all of the open houses that are in this particular area. And of course, you could always come in and add, let's say, price filters, other things like that to kind of refine that search. Now from here, what you can do is you can click on these individual listings to view them and send them individually to your client. What you might want to do though instead is if you come up to the top right here, you can flip this to a tile view or even a list view. Just depends on how you prefer to look at that. If you'd like to see those photos right away, stay in that tile view, or if you like that list view so you can view side by side, you can do that. And like Jesse mentioned before, this is customizable, so you can really include whatever information is most relevant to you. To send some of these individual open houses to your client, we have that little checkbox right at the top right of each individual listing. We can just click on those. I'll say it's just these 3. And then after I've selected those, they move into what I like to refer to as my shopping cart. And I can view those right here, or I can just click that send or like DM button, and I can send those to any of my clients. So I'll send these ones to Jessie. I can say, let me know what you think. Hit send, that's gonna go straight to her chat. So she's gonna get notified of those new open houses that you sent her right away. If these open houses should go to some of my other clients though, instead of just exiting out of my shopping cart here, I can actually click send, and I maybe Kim, Chris, and Chloe also want to go see these listings, and I can, add a new message to them as well. The trick you have up your sleeve though, is that if you've saved a search for a client, when we are viewing their client feed, and I'll use my clients Everett and Hammond as an example here, when we are viewing their feed, the default is to look at any listings that they've been sent. But in your folder bar, you have an open houses section right here. What this is doing is it's looking through any listing your client has been sent based on those saved searches on their account. And when those listings that they've been sent get tagged with an upcoming open house, it's going to appear in this section as well. So maybe it's Friday, you want to see what's happening before the weekend, you're going out with these clients. Instead of kind of trying to recreate the search, you can just come into Zenlist, click on their feed, go to this open houses section right here, and you'll see, okay, today this is happening. And as we scroll down, tomorrow, this is what's happening. And you'll see those times on those open houses right away. So just a little trick for you to save some time so that you can access those open houses really easily. Okay. And then there is a question that, is there a way to filter everything a client has already toured/seen? So when we are looking at a client account, or when we're logged into our Zenlist account, a couple of things you can do. The first thing is we'll use Everett and Hammond as our example, or actually let's use Jessie because it's relevant to what we just had going on here. We can come into their tour request, and whenever they have toured anything, it's going to say toured on that date right there. So when you're looking at tour requests, we'll even use Everett and Hammond again. If there is an open request, you're going to see these little icons that say tour requested this weekend. So you know that those haven't been seen yet. We're still trying to go look at them. As I scroll down, it's going to tell me, toured on this date. So we can always see, exactly when we went to go look at those. In the tour folder itself, when we click on tours, I can always manage my upcoming tours here, but I have all of my past tours right here too. So if I want to specifically go to, their tour that happened this past Sunday, I can just click right on that, and it's going to have all the listings that we went to go look at. I can click into these listings, see if there were any notes left by the client. So that's another way that you can access anything that you have seen for that particular client as well. Any other questions while we have some time? Okay, well, we'll flip back. We'll wrap things up. If you do have a question, you can always reach out to us by clicking, that get help button, get support, and chatting with us live. Or you can send an email to support@zenlist.com. And then, as always, there's going to be a survey that goes out after we wrap. Please fill it out and let us know what you think. We'd love to hear what you kind of thought of this format. It's new to us. All feedback is good feedback. So we're looking forward to hearing what you thought. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday.